Salute family and welcome back to another video. This is Black Truth United. Yes family, you probably saw this coming. I have officially converted the B1 Rolodex into a Google map, specifically on Google MyMaps. Google MyMaps is essentially a way for people to create custom maps and share them with one another, all on Google's platform. So I simply took all of the data from the B1 Rolodex. I looked up exact addresses if I could find them, and I placed them all on the map. Physical addresses, of course. So I'm going to be showing you the results of that today. And I do want to clarify that this does not take away the need for the B1 Rolodex. Obviously, if you go through the Rolodex, there are plenty of businesses that do not have an address. Online businesses, ebooks, that kind of stuff. So there are whole chunks of businesses that are online whose data points are not listed in MyMaps. And there are other cases like this one, Fix Too Fast, which has some services that are remote and then other services that require you to be in that specific region in Cincinnati. So just as a reminder, once again, anyone can download this document. You can go right here to file download. You can make a copy. Now, of course, you have the resources and general contact numbers. Right here, you have the map and then the intro and help section. So we're going to be in the map right here. I'll probably put a tutorial video in this section. You can tell that this map is the one. It says owned by Black Truth United. So you simply click on that in the account that you want. And if you attempt to go to MyMaps, you'll have to type it in right here in the URL, google.com/mymaps. And you can see that I don't have any in this particular account. But I'll show you how you can get a copy of the B1 Rolodex map just a little later on in this video. I don't have the option to edit here since I'm not logged in as Black Truth United. So this will be exactly how you're able to view it. For now, I'm using the color green for farms. All other businesses will be in blue. So first of all, I want to point out that I haven't looked up the farms in this region right here, the South Central and the West Coast. So that's why you see the green missing from that side of the map. Certain areas like here in the north, I just wasn't able to find any FBA or B1 farmers in those areas. But anyway, let's get into the features of the map. So let me go to Cincinnati since we were just there on Fix Too Fast. I'm going to look for that business. As you can see here, as I click on the pins or nodes, whatever you call them, all the information right from the Rolodex is listed there along with a link to the website. Sometimes you won't be able to see every single business unless you zoom in far enough. But let me click right here because I know, yep, right there. It's Fix Too Fast. So now if you're in this region, you can get that hardware specific help and you can go to his website. He has the address right there and do business with that particular brother. Now let me click on this. In MyMaps, there's a redirect notice. If it doesn't redirect you immediately, just click on that link and it'll take you right there. So here we are on the website. Looks very professional. You have the phone number there and you can do business with this brother. You have all the social media links. So I try to make it easy for the end user to do business with these companies. Alright, now we're going to be looking at the next city over here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Again, like I said before, zooming into the map reveals that there are more pins than you may think. Just like here we have two businesses very close to one another. Let me zoom out. So I'm just clicking around here. Some of them have a specific address, others have a general address. So let me go to another one. Let's go to DC. He had quite a few businesses. Here we are in DC. We have a tour guide right here. We have a farm that wholesales to DC areas. Who knows? This could be a business to business interaction. If you own a restaurant, for example, some of these are restaurants, you may be able to contact that farm and make a good connection. All right, let's go to Atlanta. Atlanta, stand up. And keep in mind, this is without anyone from Atlanta giving me a specific list of businesses. So let me click on some of this. You have Brandemonium, Moda 404, Sublime Donuts, a couple of other businesses. You have a farm out here, Nature's Candy Farms, Yummy Cakes. I believe they're in Savannah as well. There's a website. See, this one just says Atlanta in general. But let me zoom out and let me go over to Savannah just to see. I believe that's the sister who services both of those cities. Yes, right here. Yummy Cakes by Mia. Alright, let's go to Houston. Houston, we do not have a problem. A lot of businesses out this way. I haven't searched for the farms, but there are plenty of businesses, and not just restaurants. There are quite a few restaurants, but you can see right here we have pressure washing and all kinds of stuff. Alright, let's not forget the West Coast. Let's go to LA. Let me see if I can, yep. Here's the Hidden History Museum, along with all the other businesses in the area. And by the way, if you're just looking to drive to that specific location, all you have to do is click that arrow up there, and it'll take you to that specific address in the city. Just make sure that it's an actual address and not a general location location that just says something like Boston or Philly. Make sure that it has an actual address. So again, I am missing the farms in this particular area, along with Alaska. I haven't found a single business in Alaska. Also Cuba, the Dominican Republic, all these different areas, including over in Europe, Africa. If we have on-code brothers and sisters from those areas who have a connection to FBA society, they can be listed in the B1 Rolodex. And that's especially good for brothers and sisters who travel internationally. So let me give you some of the practical uses of the B1 Rolodex. Let's say you're traveling from Maine to Florida. Typically you're going to be on I-95. So let's say you're traveling along that road and you want to stop by some of these businesses. So this one happens to be a petition in the city of Boston, so that's not a practical stop, but let's go to the next one. Here we have a brother who is an on-code Jamaican. I believe he called up to Jason Black's broadcast one time, listed his business in there. We have a farmer who sells to New York City, but he is not based there. I believe he's in upstate New York. I believe that's the same business right there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and click on this. Yes, that's him. So he sells to both of those areas. And of course, if you go off the beaten path, you can go to some of these other businesses. But let me zoom in. Okay, so you're traveling down 95 and you're in Philly. We have two businesses here, a chicken and waffle restaurant, and then down north pizza. And what I loved about this is that the brother specifically is hiring formerly incarcerated individuals. And also the fact that he specifically avoids pork. I certainly do not eat pork. So he may be an Israelite or in the Nation of Islam or something, but that beef bacon, man. All I have to say is if I'm in Philly, that'll be a place that I hit up. And it's sad because I was in Philly not too long ago. But now with the B1 Rolodex, as we're traveling from city to city, we'll be able to patronize our own businesses very easily. So you're traveling down, you can go to Baltimore, DC, here's Richmond, you can visit those farms. If you zoom in, you have the addresses. Obviously, you have to check the store hours or at least give the business owner a call. But think about how practical this is for people who are traveling, doing a family trip, or driving for work. Truck drivers can definitely use this kind of information. Now, obviously, Brother Vader is going to have more options with the app that he's working on, Sundown Town Data, and the whole 9 yards. Outside of just the description and the website, he's going to have a place where you can review and all kinds of other stuff. So this by no means erases the need for an app, but it is very practical in the meantime. All right, let's go to another city, Orlando. Here we have some of the farms. I think that they sell in Orlando. See, this one says Orlando in general. This person sells honey. So we got a few other businesses here, a bakery. Apparently this sister is either nationally or internationally known, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then down here, yes, this is the tilapia farm. I wasn't sure whether to leave it as a green pin or a blue pin, but I figured just like livestock pins for ranches, I would leave that particular one as a green pin. All right, let's give a few other cities some shine. Let's go to St. Louis. Here we have the headquarters of a big business owned by a brother who's FBA. Here's a farm. And then we have this farm. And by the way, this particular sister has a nonprofit and she gives free food out in the city of St. Louis. So during the produce season, definitely reach out to her if you're in that city and you're in need of food. Here we have Thornton Financial. You've probably heard that commercial on a broadcast or two. All right, let me show you the search feature in here, which isn't perfect. But if you know the name of the business, for example, you can just jump to it real fast. It'll take you right there. I just typed in the Hidden History Museum. So it'll take you right to whatever you're looking for if you know the specific name of the business. Now over here, I've organized each layer of the map to be specific to a region. Outside of the southeast, the south central region had the most businesses, and keep in mind I haven't looked for farms in most of that region. So there are going to be a lot more. But each one of these labels can only take 2,000 entries, and I'm starting to think that we'll hit those kind of numbers before we know it. So if that happens, I'll create a separate map for the Southeast, the Northeast, the Midwest, and so on, and then divide those into smaller subsections. And of course, if I do it that way, I'll list them here in the B1 Rolodex so that you can quickly jump to your region. Now, obviously for now, you can simply turn off regions. So you can click these and hide the other regions if you don't need them. I wasn't sure if I should include Arizona in the South Central region, but I included it nevertheless. So let's say you're in the South Central region and you only need to see this. Let's zoom in here to Memphis, Tennessee. You can easily just use the Rolodex for that specific region. Firefox Ranch, that's a pretty cool place. Definitely check that out if you're in Memphis. Alright, so let me turn these back on. Now notice up here, I'm not logged in as Black Truth United, but I can download a KML version of this map. The same way anyone can download and copy the B1 Rolodex right from Google Sheets. You can also embed the map in a website. I'm not going to restrict anyone from doing that. You can view it on Google Earth, but the best feature that I've found is the copy map feature. That way you get all of the specs exactly how it is. Hit that button and then you'll notice that Black Truth United is no longer there, but this is a completely editable map. It's your version of the map. If you want to add businesses, add different insights, take away businesses, you can edit it as you please. And this is practical as well if you, for example, don't want to follow my business listing rules here in the B1 Rolodex, like no drugs and no sexual content. If you want to create your own custom B1 Rolodex that includes those things, you can simply make a copy of what I have and then start adding your own pins to the list. So I'll just type in a random address here. I would click add to pin and then this would show up in the label that I'm currently in. In this case, it would be the southeastern region. So if anything happens to me or if you want to create a spinoff, that's quite alright. Let me show you how that appears here in MyMaps. So as you can see, it appeared here. It's the copy. I'm going to go here to not owned and you'll see that my Rolodex from Black Truth United is right there. That's the copy and that's the original. So a very cool feature in MyMaps. Alright, now I want to cover the search options because they are not the best in MyMaps. Here in the B1 Rolodex, it's very easy. You just use Control Find or Find and Replace on a mobile and you're able to search very easily for a business or a product. In MyMaps, it's not as easy. So let me click here and show you the search option. If I type in the same exact thing, you'll see that there are instead 78 results. Now I wonder if that has to do with other data that Google plots out, but typically the first couple of options are pretty good, like this one, G4 Farms. They sell pecans, so that is one disadvantage of MyMaps. And for example, if I type in something like Georgia, it'll show me a map of Georgia and a few options, but again, it's not perfect. And of course, as I stated earlier, I'm going to be adding the farms in these regions, so just stay tuned. Alright family, that concludes this video. As usual, the B1 Rolodex will be in the description. Definitely try out the map and tell me what you think. Alright, be one and be blessed family. Peace.